2 seconds for the recording. New recording. Come on again. Correct. Good evening to council and members of the public and Amy Tincher who's here tonight. Thank you very much. It's always good to see you all for the Thursday, the 18th of June meeting of Brightsea Town Council. So we start with apologies for absence.
Apologies from Councillor Howard.
I'm sure. Second item is the minutes of the meetings that are held on the 21st of May, which have been distributed. Any comments on that? It was obviously the memo. I take it as a true record. Yeah. Moved. Second. All those in favour? Read. Got the sign,
Please.
Thank you. The next item is mayor's announcements. Starting off fairly slowly, but we've got going on many of the mayor's events, as I remember. I'm sure Chris will remember. One of the things I have done, I got asked by the Colne School to go and present all the prizes to all the students. So I had to go 3 times. I have to say it was very hot. And I shook every one of their hands. I think I don't know how many hundreds there were, but all the parents were there. It was a very lovely occasion, and managed to get all of them onto the stage and shake them and say well done for all their awards and their prizes and so on. And I thought that was a very good thing. I also had a good chat with the head there, Stephen Crane, and we discussed what we've discussed before in council, of inviting some of the students, particularly those who might be interested in council or sort of politics or something. Would they like to come and join us at council if we can find a date, suitable date, either at a council meeting or a special meeting where they can talk about issues they'd like to talk about the youth of the town? Would the council like us to arrange that? Yeah. But they've done very well. They seem to be very keen to do that now. So I'll get a letter to Stephen Crane, and I'll send him also a letter to say how much we enjoyed that. We also did. I did judging a sandcastle competition with over 100 children today. How can you judge a sandcastle competition with 100 children? I have to say that is very difficult.
They're all winners.
They're well.
Yeah,
Believe it or not, they did all win. But it was great, and of course the Blessing of the Waters is a great event for this town. It really does showpiece it, and I have to say there's more chains in Brightsea that day than I've ever seen anywhere. So it was really a great day. Of course, the weather was fantastic. And just the other thing, we have a date for your diary of Emmett Suka, who is the mayor of Sandwich, who is now coming on to visit on Tuesday, the 11th of August. So all councillors are welcome to welcome him. We have him here, don't we? And then we go for a wander around the town and down to the Opera, I think. So that's another thing that's happening. Emmett Suka. I think it's his 2nd year, isn't it? Yeah. So he's now confirmed the 11th of August. And the last thing I was going to say is just for the public, we have now a new sound and video system which people can watch at home, and I'm told it's very crisp there. So well done for everyone who organised that. I think that's been a major step forward. Thank you. Item 4 is the declaration of members' interest to receive any pecuniary or other registrable interest relating to items on the agenda. No? Okay. So we now move on to the town council vacancies. As you are aware, there are currently 2 vacancies in the town council. Vacancy 1, a sufficient number of requests were received to hold an election to fill the vacancy. A notice of the election has been posted, which closes Friday at 4 p.m. on the 19th of June, which is tomorrow at 4 p.m. If anybody wants to stand on this council. If the election is contested, the poll will take place on Thursday, the 16th of July, if you'd like to take a note of that. 16th of July, between the hours of 7 a.m. and 10 p.m. Please note that this council have determined that poll cards are not required for this election. There will be no poll cards going out. That's to save money, to be frank. Vacancy 2, an insufficient number of requests were received at TDC for the election to fill this vacancy, and therefore we can fill that with co-option after the first election is had.
I find that rather strange, actually, because you'd have thought that if there's a lot of activity and people saying, and they've done it for one and not the other.
And then, didn't it? I don't really know how to answer that. I mean,
So
we don't know.
yeah, we don't know.
But certainly, I think there has to be 10. There have to be
10 to call.
to call it, and there may have been one person who's actually now standing, in which case we won't have to hold an election, they'll get automatically elected. If there's 2, we will have to have the election.
Well, they can't just fill the 2 spaces.
No.
That's mad, isn't it? All that money for
We tried to amalgamate the 2 vacancies into the one election, and we were told by Tender we couldn't do it. I'm not here to reason why.
How much is it going to cost if there is that?
Basically,
It could be up to £18,000, but the poll cards are around £5,000 to £6,000 plus postage. So it will be reduced, yes.
£13,000.
For one
Would
seat.
probably be 8 months, isn't it? 9 months.
yes. Well,
there's 2 people we've just wasted £13,000 public advantage of everyone.
democracy. Yeah, unfortunately, that's the rules, and obviously we have to abide by those. Okay, so that's just a public announcement for everybody. So we now move on to item 6, which is update from the county council in Category. Would you like to come forward? There's seats. There's a couple of seats here.
Do you want to sit here? So I don't have my back to everybody.
Yeah.
I feel really positive.
Yeah.
It's okay. Thank you. Bear with me. I've either got hay fever or cold and probably hay fever. Since I last mentioned, I've been focused on representing residents across Brightsea, meeting lots of people, got lots of casework underway, and there's a number of issues. Earlier this week, I met with Kirsty and Julie in here, and that was really beneficial, actually, just to sit and speak and discuss
Good.
issues. You know,
You're always welcome.
thank you. And yeah, I think overall that was just beneficial to sit and have discussions with the queries I've had, history of those, etc., etc. So at Essex, one of the positive changes introduced by the new administration is the removal of library book reservation fees. There's nothing to say that I've had questions to me. Is Brighton Sea Library going? There's nothing to suggest that there is. So if I ever heard anything like that, I would certainly let you know. Prior to that, I don't know.
Especially that was the postal charge, though. If you want to get a book from a different library, they were saying they were going to charge just for the posting of it.
Oh, I can double check.
Yeah, well, I think it was. Sorry, Amy.
That's right. I was on the assumption that was to.
Reserved.
Sorry.
I think it was reserved. I think it's to
Reserved.
get it
To the report and the questions afterwards.
Well,
We have the report and the questions after.
So it means students, resident students, children, can now reserve books through Essex libraries without paying the previous charge, and it's been removed. Sorry. Okay,
that's fine.
there we go. We declared a pothole emergency. I think it was very evident speaking to residents when we was campaigning that there are lots of issues with the roads. It's not going to be fixed overnight. I think we all know that as a kind of more common sense approach. I was asked to put forward 3 roads within the division for immediate repair. One of those roads is the road in and out Brightsea, the whole road. So the holes that are there now, we want them fixed. The road between Alresford and Thorrington and the A133. I've kind of, when I was looking demographically, driving around the area, I thought the best thing to do would be to look after the main roads. obviously we want to look after all the roads, but these will be our main first focus, and then report anything else. Obviously there was a hole, a sinkhole that had opened up. That's been reported, and someone's been out to assess it, haven't they?
Yes.
So things are being assessed. Well, notes somewhere. Let me pick it up. Another key priority we've put forward is increasing the number of foster carers across Sussex. There is an ongoing need to provide safe, stable homes for vulnerable children, and the council is looking at how we can best promote and support fostering opportunities across the county. So yeah, I've submitted 3 roads, done those. Yeah, I think that's everything I need to report to you.
Thank you.
Okay.
Just a couple on the roads, we've run into this problem before because they designate the road, but the road in is several different roads. It's had name changes, and when it's been done before, I think it was a couple of years ago, where they threw tarmac part of it. I said, are we going any further? And they said, no, because this is the end of Church Road or whatever bit it was doing. Do you remember it got to a certain point they stopped? I just wondered if you can check when you say it's going to be all done. It'd be fantastic if it could be all done.
Yeah, of course.
But it ends up being done in sections.
I will make that known. Yeah, no, that's absolutely fine.
And-
Thank you for that.
And my second point, if I may, I was having conversations with the predecessor about trying to get 2 posts down on the hard. Sure if you know this, but when you come out of the marina, you step down to the hard. It's quite a high step, and there's two steps down to the road.
Mhm.
And if anybody of any sort of age, my age, would find it difficult down those steps, to get down if those steps aren't clear, and yet it's constantly being parked against. Cars come up and park against the steps, so you can't get down. And one of the ideas was to actually put 2 posts about a foot or 2 feet out into the road to stop anybody from parking there. It's right on the road, so there's very little passing traffic because you're going onto the hard. We were going to get into conversations with the highways department, but we weren't clear if that was the right people to talk to about that. I wonder if you could,
But I can do that for you anyway. Yeah.
because I think it's something that's really worthwhile, because people can't get off of the marina steps, as it were, down into the hard to go across to the other part of the time.
Next.
Just going back to the roads again, Chris's point about the main road in and out of Brightsea. Historically, when there's any roadworks on that road, it causes an awful lot of problems. So can we try and make sure that proper consideration is given to the timings of any roadworks before they start?
Absolutely.
Lots of notifications so we can
Yeah.
let everybody know plenty of time.
Yes, of course. No, that's one thing that I have raised. Obviously, we want them fixed as well. So, unfortunately, I can't. I will do the best I
Anytime's
can.
not going to be a good
No,
time, but if we can try and mitigate it as much as possible.
Yes,
Thanks.
I'll put that point very clearly across.
Mick.
Thanks, Amy. On local issues, I've got a couple of wider issues. I was at a sort of conference at the university on Wednesday, and it was about sort of climate change and so on. But a couple of things, there were some Ukrainian students there who, in a discussion group that I had, were quite concerned that the county council has decided not to fly the Ukrainian flag. And I just wondered whether you could get some response for, I don't know whose decision that was, presumably the leader, whether you could actually see whether that implies a lack of support for Ukrainian people who are maybe, refugees in Essex, or who are, suffering through the war, because we did have quite a big campaign to support.
Yeah, of course. Yes, we do support Ukraine. We do support
Yeah.
Ukrainian refugees. Yes. we
Okay,
do.
can I ask you to ask the leader to come take that from me?
Yeah.
But we were a bit worried. And the second one was, the leader also announced that he wasn't going to pursue net zero policies. And again, I'm not sure what the details of that.
We have,
like.
well, I don't have any details yet either.
Yeah.
So I'm
I
looking
would
forward
just
to-
ask if you could get a response.
No, I'm looking forward to seeing what that entails, but from conversations that I've had, it's looking at development where it could benefit that massively, because the cost of developing with sustainability is
Yeah. I just conscious there's a lot of kind of industry and employment and jobs in Essex and in Tendring that are reliant on renewable energy. I mean, wind farms, for instance, and I wouldn't like to think that the county council is taking a kind of negative position on that. Okay, that's it. Thank you. John.
I concur with Chris on the steps down the harm. In fact, it was I that gave first aid to the elderly woman that fell.
Yeah.
And there's an awful lot of blood come out there. So it wasn't reported. Which brings me to the next thing, actually. This council has prided ourselves on our reporting tool that we do to county council. And with Julie and with Tracy, and we've got this great reporting tool. I'm pretty sure we're still doing that, the same type of potholes for pavements that have got overgrowth on them and everything like that. So I'm guessing we're still going to be doing that. Yes.
Yeah, you are reporting them, aren't you? Yes.
But the steps in question that Chris brought up, it almost an urgent thing. The summer's here.
Absolutely.
Talking to one of our excellent parking wardens down there, who turned around in Brighton, you see they're here for 2 hours in the morning, it's early in the afternoon. Yeah, who turned around and looked, and when I pointed this out to him, he said, "Well, I can't give anybody a ticket because there's no line there." I said, "Well, there is a line there. There's a white square.
It regularly floods,
And
so you can't put any marks on the road.
Okay.
you know the types of things that you see in the great metropolis of London? They've got great big cast iron sticks on them. 2 of them on the table.
I don't have a magic wand. Listen, I'll see what I can do.
Yeah, I mean, the problem is it's an accident waiting to
Yes,
happen.
of course.
did
And
happen.
I
It
will.
didn't actually happen.
Yeah.
Okay,
But
great.
that's the one.
Good news on the potholes, but is anything going to be done about the pavements with holes in? We've had a few people, obviously disabled buggies and that.
Yeah,
I've heard on the whip that there's going to be more money for the potholes rather than pavements as well.
I think the problem is we don't have enough yet that's been trickled through. I don't have enough yet to give you a clear answer. I'd like to know, I'd hope that, they will be a priority as well as.
Yeah. So if we fire our
Yeah.
reporting, maybe we.
And if
Which I think we do anyway.
and if you don't get a response, then please let me know or copy me in.
Sorry, do you want to carry on? Yeah. So I've been approached to be a fresh air champion. Air champion. I only got the email yesterday. I'm worried about balloons up. There's an organisation. But I thought, well, if we're looking to do away with net zero, I didn't know whether there was an opportunity there that the Summer on the Line, fresh air, might be charged for. What's a bit more into it? Maybe we could provide. Okay. Yeah.
Thank you very much.
Yeah, one thing. I think it's been brought up a couple of times, but nothing never happened towards it. The 30-mile-an-hour flashing sign, it's definitely one there. As you come down Spring Chase, so Springmead Gardens,
Yeah.
outside there, if you just look a little bit down, there's a sign on a post, and it's never been used. It's never been on for a while, anyway.
I think we've got an answer to that.
Oh, have you got
Yeah.
one?
I think we can answer that one for you.
Oh, I just didn't know if we could get it turned on.
Sorry, I think, I'm not sure if it was named after the meeting, but it would be part of the recommendations of the EMT meeting that we approach you for authorisation to have the 30-mile-an-hour sign put on the post that Kerry's talking about in Spring Chase.
It's already on there. One that I'm
No,
doing.
the smiley face.
So what's wrong with the one that's there?
That's a different one.
Yeah, so why can't we just turn that one on? The one that's already there? It doesn't work, or
As
no?
far as I know, it doesn't work.
We've got a replacement.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, so with a smiley face.
Well, just put it somewhere else. You could use that one and get that one working.
Well, we can
I
certainly try.
think, I think once we've made that recommendation to full council, because it means us purchasing the 30-mile-an-hour sign from Thorrington. So, once we've got that, we're going to be approaching the authorisation to put it.
Your-
on the sign.
your poll.
We've already approached Amy,
Have I-
Councillor John
Right.
Howard, sent her an email.
Lovely.
So
Yeah.
we know for a fact that that is not working.
As far as we know, yeah.
But when we get it down, we've got to look at it. At the moment, it's not working.
It's fine.
Any other councillor
big
questions
sign, sorted.
for Amy? If not, can I open the questions for the public? Any public questions to Amy? Richard?
Yeah, I have, as you know, it's Norfolk and Essex have gone for this challenge to local government. I believe I'm right in saying that, Steve Reed, who is the housing and communities officers, replied to your leader's letter.
Has he? I haven't seen it.
Yeah, I think he has, and he's saying that all the points you've brought up are not arguable. Well, that may go further than that, but my 2 points you can ask your finance guru is what would be the estimate for this financial challenge? Suffolk has said it could be 100,000. I've done a bit of research. If it goes to the High Court, which maybe it might do, it might not, that'd be over 200,000. But the important one is the second point. You could ask Peter Harris, what does he actually believe the chances are of him stopping local government from? The experts that I've read and done the research say it's only a very small chance. And I think for us, you could have a delay over this timetable, they say, but that's what they say. If you could get an answer next time for that, I'd be very much obliged, because this is the basic, it's going to affect all of us. This is the probably most important thing since 1974. And you've got to be clear about how this is going to work. You know, it's like all these things, it's very easy. You know, people talk about net zero. Well, there's a lot of things I could say, but I won't say that. But that is my question, really.
That is your question.
That is my question.
That was what I was looking for. Right. You respond to that, or are you going to come back?
I don't think you know enough. I don't know the answer.
No, I didn't want it tonight. If you could come back maybe next time.
Yeah, so
Oh, sorry.
Scott, if I can help you out here, literally, we've just had an email from Ian Davison,
okay.
the chief executive, who's
Okay.
had some meeting today,
Okay.
and he's saying that Essex County Council has to take the next step in its legal challenge tomorrow, Friday,
Yeah.
if it is to continue, and we wait to see what happens. Apparently, the first letter that they've sent has been rebuffed, as you say,
Yes,
by,
yeah, I haven't read the full.
by the government, and that the ministers, have said they favoured the 5-year option, and they're sticking to that. So
Yeah.
it could be what do you call it, judicial review, which
Yeah.
is very, very expensive. I think.
Very long-winded. Yeah. Okay, thank you very much. Any other questions for Amy from the public? Yes,
Sue Cook,
super, yes.
will you be doing a resident surgery as
Yes.
Alan Godwin used to do?
Yes.
Locally,
Locally,
Brighton
I'm going to meet Lady at the Community Centre next Wednesday, and I'm going to arrange to go to the future.
Thank you for your question, Sue. Any other questions for Amy? In that case, Amy, thank you very much.
Thank you.
And,
I'm going to shoot off that.
I don't mind.
All right.
Have an evening.
Take care. Bye.
Moving on the agenda then, item 7 is the update from the district council. Nick, you want to go first?
Oh, sorry. Any questions? It was, I've just been to a North Essex Parking Partnership meeting this afternoon, so I could possibly give an update on down the prom if people
Well,
want.
that will be good.
Um, I raised it with the relevant officers there and the county council. So it's like across the board, the parking partnership, county council rep. And the difficulty with getting enforcement against caravan is that unless it's attached to a vehicle, they can't put a ticket on a caravan. They're like a number plate. So they've given me a number of options, further options, which I'm going to explore next week. It's the actual signage doesn't come in till tomorrow. The actual enforcement, the restrictions. But I think it's already had some impact. There's a lot of vehicles have moved, and it seems a lot clearer down there. Obviously, apart from the caravan, but there are I think there are other things going on around that may move the situation forward.
I
in
noticed
due course.
today the van which was parked always next to that caravan has gone today.
Yeah.
So maybe he's heard wind he can't get done if there's no vehicle. But
Okay,
yeah,
so that was that. But I mean, any other questions? Nothing really.
Any-
It's been we had a review of all the work that we've done in the last 2 or 3 years, and all the portfolio holders that submit to the rating. So that's what I put in, and quite a comprehensive list.
yeah, thanks for the report.
Yeah.
Any questions on Mixelby?
No, sorry, is this the place to ask about LGR?
Yeah, well,
So is there any more movement from the LGR?
Yeah, I had what day is it? Thursday. Yeah, I had a meeting with Gary Guyver and Jenny Whittleton yesterday, and I asked them for a progress update. They've said they've activated the property dealing procedure. They haven't got any terms of reference for the independent valuation process yet. And I said, well, but you said you were going to do that a couple of weeks ago. And I did remind them that the timescales are narrowing. It's funny, everywhere you go, there's always, we've only got 9 months left before the unitary elections. And it seems everything is kind of getting crowded into this next 9 months to try and prepare us. So everybody's working. I mean, in terms of LGR, everybody is working on the assumption that it is going forward and it is going to happen. And even not even going to be a delay as it's been predicted. So they have said they're prioritising Brightlingsea in terms of getting that done. And I said I wanted an update for our next council meeting in July. So I hope we've got something firmer to discuss. Yeah.
Thank you very much. John.
Sorry, Nick, I get the thing with the caravan down there, that the chap down there is going to be as difficult as possible. But as I understand it, the law actually says that anything parked on there is deemed an obstruction to the highway.
That is one route that we could take. And that is, I believe, Richard Walker, who has been the head of Parking Partnership for like 5 years, and he's very pleased as Punch to be president of the British Parking Association. So I had a discussion with him today. He's actually sent me an email with a lot of links to different sections of different acts. And one of them is about the county council enforcing that. I don't think we've actually had any county council enforcement action, have we, on that? So I think it may be that has to be the next step to escalate it to there, because we've done the parking bit, we've done the tendering bit, different departments in tendering, environmental health, I think the public safety department. So I think the county council, what you're saying is it's not fly tipping, but it's it's obstruction. If it's not lit, it could be a hazard.
So Yarmouth Borough Council managed to legally remove one.
Yeah,
Above all it says,
it's quite rare to have an unhitched caravan.
But,
So, yeah.
Chris?
We've had one in Brighton this week. They've moved a car, and sorry, I can't remember the name of the road, but close to Strangers Corner, there was an old car left there for some time. Well, it wasn't abandoned, but he wouldn't move it. And then, the county council, I'm pretty sure, moved that under some act, I don't know what
Yeah.
it was. But so
Well,
I've done it before in Brighton.
I can just say that it is exercising me as much as it ever has done, and I hope to resolve it so I can get this ticked off.
Good. Well, we're very pleased to hear that, Mick.
Yeah.
And it certainly is getting better down there. Any other questions to make on his report? Very good report, by the way. I think. Okay, then we move on then to Jane.
I'm just going to give a quick update on the planning policy and local plan, but I'm just going to stand up. That was the agenda.
Oh my God.
That is the minutes from it.
Oh,
So you can, so,
what have you been doing then?
well, I think we need to stress though that none of us want development. You know, us as a council and most of the places in tendering don't want this amount of development. The officers certainly don't want it, but it is a statutory obligation that they have to produce enough sites to put up to 18,000 houses on. We've all got to be realistic. Half of them may never get developed, but they have to submit these sites. If they don't submit the sites, the inspector will come down and tell them where to put them, and then you will lose total control out of it. But in saying that, as I said, that's the agenda. I did have to step out of the meeting for a little bit of it because I had a personal issue on the site there, but was watching the live stream. The recommendation is for the 300 houses at the top Sampson's Road to be removed, which is also in the minutes now, and 3 additional sites to be added, which would take us down to 90 houses with the 5 sites, 90 houses and up to 60 assisted living houses, units. Bear in mind, 60 sounds a huge amount because it's on the Well House site, but they are assisted living units, so they were probably smallish units. So you can really split that in 2 ways. It is 90 houses up to 60 assisted living. The Well House site is still up for sale, and so, you know, again, it's one of these, they may never happen. And I think it was after we asked them to look at the sites that were submitted when the call for sites come up to try and lose this 300. I couldn't take part in that particular part of the vote, but I was really pleased in some ways that the officers recommended the 300 to be removed, and the councillors on the committee all agreed as a whole to, you know, there was alterations in other areas, but they agreed that to submit into these 5 smaller sites. So as much as it keeps going on that we don't want it, we've got no infrastructure, nor's anybody else, but we've got to be prepared to take something, and these sites do have the infrastructure around them. There are around other housing, and I think when it comes to public consultation in September, we need to support that, because if not, we could end up back with the 300.
Thank you, Jane. And I think it's important we do know how much work the tendering councils have done on this. I know Jane particularly, and I think it's been
And Graham will
and
play yours with me.
yes, absolutely. But thank you very much for all your efforts.
Well, I was going to reiterate congratulations to Jane, because Jane did put a personal time into it. And I want to just ask her that this is now going back to public consultation
September.
in September. So what should we do locally? Should we still, because they were very impressed by our output last time. I think we were the town with the most replies. I mean, is it just good enough to say we agree with this, or what should
Well,
we
it
do?
will come. They will display again here, like they did last time.
Yeah.
So it will be the 5 public sites again, and I think we need to, as individuals and as a council, because our council answer, response really helped.
Right.
And I think we need to,
Well, I think,
in the
Richard,
public,
the point I was really making was to the public that this isn't a done deal yet. We need to
Yeah.
support this to get this through properly, because it's just
Yeah.
simply made upon the
Yeah.
public consultation has changed. The decision hasn't been made yet.
Presumably it'll come back to this council through the planning team.
no, not public consultation. And I think once we get a date, and I know Nick and Graham probably, we need to push to, well, I think we could
Well, yeah.
openly say, you need to support this. If not,
Yeah.
you could end up with the 325 houses.
We'll do that in the planning and bring
That's
back.
what I,
Yeah.
Yes, Graham.
Yeah, I think probably the next hurdle is going to be infrastructure. Because that's what everybody is basically saying, isn't it? You know. So I've been looking through the minutes and that. There was on the FCA. That was on the 9th. Sorry. The neighbourhood plan. Charm came here, didn't she? With a presentation together. And then she's got the understanding is that the finance committee will make a final discussion regarding the funding. This is for the neighbourhood plan, presumably they need. So, but on the finance meet on the last finance, all we've said is to set up another subcommittee consistent of, and they're going to
Can I,
with the steering.
can we take that at the right time? Because we're going to be getting onto that in the team
Yeah,
meetings
yeah.
in a minute.
Yeah, no, I'm just going on. Infrastructure is going to be very important.
Yeah.
I just say as well that as Jen says, no council wants kind of more development than they've currently got. But I think our argument about the road and the transport links remains the same. However many houses comes on, I think there's a balance, isn't there, where we can support certain developments that we know are going to take place, and then obviously the one that was going massive one. I think, thanks to everybody, all the townspeople who turned out and submitted their feelings about it, and I think that was very significant.
Yeah.
But the arguments about infrastructure and about the road networks don't change,
Yeah,
regardless
absolutely.
of how many extra houses they come in. So I think we've got to accept the reality, again, as Jane says, that there are some sites that are just waiting for somebody to buy and develop, and whether they're commercially viable or not, we'll see. The market will dictate what happens to them. But I think we've set our stall out, we've set down our kind of red lines, and I think we maintain those. And that those, when that comes along, we reiterate that, and we possibly look at the other sites, because they will have an impact, whether it's 50 or 250. There's going to be an impact, and we have to get them to acknowledge that and put them on notice. So that will go further up the line. When the inspector reads it, he will see the town council position is opposed, and I think that's going to be our consistent position going forward.
Indeed. Okay.
I was just going to say there was 190 individual letters of objection, including the town council one from us here, and a petition with 20 on. To me, if you take the whole area and you're being told you've got to put 18,000 houses on, well, they actually only received 680, I think,
Oh,
out of the whole area. So to me, that is quite low. When you take the whole population of Tendring and everybody's arguing, and I suppose, 190 from here, yes, we were the highest, but it is quite low technically. When you think you've got a population of 9,500, it's, I know some children, but
Yeah.
190 is low. The schools have also agreed, couldn't have said they can cope with 90 because the birth rate is so much lower. So when they start to develop, when they build
They
5
do
years'
what they
time, the schools will have capacity.
Just, I wondered if you could just clarify what constitutes an assisted living over there.
Assisted living.
Unit.
Caroline, a warden living on a site, the alarms.
Yeah.
Bit like Springfields had, where they had a warden or somebody who answers alarms. John King Court is also
That's
assisted, but they don't have anybody living in, but there's an alarm, so it could be anything like that. It still has to stay within this care sector.
Yeah.
And the only way we could get it was assisted living or walking controlled.
Well, thank you for the update. I think it's been very well received. Okay, so moving on then to Graham Steady, any on your report?
Yeah, so yeah, you can run the report there, and probably the main thing is I'm gonna report the fact, which is the end of the 2025-26. What's been completed on the community leadership overview and Springfield committee, and just explaining the changes we've made, and obviously one of the heaviest things there was the government's review on Clacton, Jaywick, and Holland Sea to get town councils when LGR does happen.
Yeah. That's it. Thank you. Any questions, Gibran? Okay, then we'll move on to the team reports. First one is FCA, and that's now your turn, Graham.
Yeah, okay, so it's the notes from the 16th of June, and I'd like to propose the recommendations therein.
So the 9th of June, I think you mentioned.
Yeah.
Okay.
Sorry, 9th of June.
The recommendations in front of you. Do you want to discuss those, or kind of oppose and accept them? Oppose, seconded, all in favour? Against? Thank you. We move on therefore to the environment and transport theme. Kate.
See now. The meeting took place on the 11th of June. Both from Jean, I'd like to thank Jean for doing a sterling job over the last 3 years. There are a couple of recommendations. One in relation to the parking restrictions that Nick's already covered. And we're going to be bringing that forward, I think, to the Chief Inspector when he comes as well. A couple of questions to see if there's any way that they can move it forward. We had a letter from a resident in Station Road in relation to parking issues as well. There's a recommendation that we write to the resident and explain their current position. And they are the recommendations from the ENT.
Okay. Any
Is
questions?
that including the recommendation for the removal?
For the 30-mile-an-hour sign.
Yeah.
It's 5B. So we need to send that on to, we needed to send it on to Amy, Hettiker, but I understand it's already been done, so we don't need to measure it.
We're moving past on that. Any other questions? Okay. On environment and transport. In that case, of proposer. Yeah, seconder. Councillor, all those in favour? Any against? Carried. Next item is welfare and resident services. Jane.
There's no reporting other than I am well aware that at the moment Boots are having all sorts of trouble. They were closed again today. I think I understand they've got a technical problem with computers or something and can't get the prescriptions made up, but I do have to go in tomorrow, so time will tell.
Does seem a shame with a company like Boots, which have got such a wonderful history, that it seems hard. Although
I know they're working hard on the shop refit, so all you can do in there is collect prescriptions, but you know,
Well,
you
it's
can't
a
even
very
do that
necessary-
at the moment.
the vital service in this town. Okay.
I've mentioned, Jane, I did have a resident ask a question about why we couldn't have a second chemist in the town. I think to explain that is that nobody's approached to say we'd like to open up a chemist business. So if anybody knows any chemists.
We'd like to.
Anyway, we'll find it somewhere.
I think it's, when we met the guy from Boots, he said exactly the same. If you know of any chemists,
Yeah,
I think that's the problem, isn't it? They can't find any pharmacists.
Yeah,
Okay.
there's a new girl, by working on the hill, apparently she's quite swift.
Yeah, we've got a new manager as well. He's coming from Wivenhoe. He's worked, this is his 4th or 5th troublesome shop. But,
Oh, it's troubleshoots.
yeah, he troubleshoots, so
Well-
he's coming as manager. I haven't yet had a chance to talk to him.
Well, we wish him well for the town's sake. Okay, anything else on that, Jack? Okay, there's no recommendations there, so we can move on to communications and tourism. Chris? Is that you?
It's me again.
Again?
It's me. There's no report from the communications team. We did have a very swift meeting, just to review the policy documents, etc. And I think we circulated to all councillors a flow chart for press releases. And we're going to try and make sure there's a monthly newsletter is circulated as well. So that's as far as we've got.
Thank you. There's no recommendations there either, so we move on to 9, finance.
Tourism.
Sorry, oh, tourism, yes indeed. Sorry, John, how can I miss tourism?
Yeah. Well,
The-
because we're the smallest, so vital, maybe we could be separate.
I think it'd be a good idea.
So, thank you, Mr. Chairman. Just so you know, on Friday the 12th of June, we had a wash up on the press day. We were astounded at how successful we've been in spreading the word around the world, not just the county.
Yeah.
And this, I mean, we've had people down from Scotland. And it-
I always knew that.
So we've learned from it. We've learned a lot from it, and if we're going to do it again, we've learned. That committee, which, as you know, is mainly based from residents, is now working on the tendering show. For all of our esteemed members of the public, please come and visit the tendering show. We are the only local council that exhibit at the tendering show.
I must say, I think your press day was absolutely excellent. You got really good coverage for
Yeah.
quite a small budget, so that's well done.
John, when's the next TAP meeting?
Next meeting is. Might actually be this year, by the way. Yes, we didn't.
Can you guys quickly, or shall I move on?
No, move on, please.
Okay, moving on to item number 9A, receive and approve the minutes of the finance meeting held on the 16th of June. John?
What means it?
Sorry. Oh, sorry.
Finance minutes is, councillor Campbell.
Yes.
You have the minutes in front of you, the recommendations, we did a slight adjustment on the terms and conditions, I think it was a hangover from last year. An important issue that I think we need to chase up and ask this. I think I am, but also I'd ask the clerk maybe to write to the playgroup. We need to crystallise the playgroup situation. It's halfway between a lease, a rental, and a hire.
Yeah.
And I think we need to get that sorted out now. We've sorted out all the rest of the things. There is a slight cost. We have to do some landlord's repairs in the building still.
I think we've agreed to write to them.
Yeah, we did agree to write to them. Yeah.
Or seem to be budgeted, I guess, the same.
Yeah.
The landlord's goodness.
There's another quick recommendation for a new sign in the boat park because people aren't looking it. I think, by the way, we need to consider the car park number on the lock seems to be quite common knowledge, by the way.
Yeah.
And finally, the neighbourhood plan. And to answer Graham's question earlier, the neighbourhood plan is based on 300 houses. If we publish that, it's in direct contradiction to the local plan. So we had a discussion about how that was going to be adjusted and several other things and some other examples of things we wanted to change. And it came to the point where after I think Mick had had word with the group, how was it going to be changed? Because there was a discussion as to whether the consultants were just going to write up what they were told to write up or whether they'd input. And if there was more input, how was that going to be handled? So we decided to delegate the responsibility to Mick, Jane, Rick and myself to have a meeting with them to see how we were going to resolve those things. So we're waiting for that meeting. Included in that though, now TDC are going to join.
Yeah. I mean, immediately following the discussion, because it was clear that there were some omissions in the draft plan, and whilst a lot of the policy and the the legal bits about the neighbourhood plan would be covered by the consultant. That's kind of their role. There were, as Chris says, some recent developments that needed to be acknowledged and integrated into the revised plan. So, yes, so the 300 houses being taken out was quite a significant change. It didn't, I mean, I don't know how much they'd addressed that within the draft. I don't think it's very significantly. But what they agreed to do, I spoke to William Fuller, who's the Tennant District Council Planning Officer, who deals with neighbourhood plans. He's currently dealing with one for Orrington, I think, or some Elmstead. No, Elmstead got one. Another local one, and he said he would look at the draft, meet with the authors, give them some advice, and then taking that forward to the consultant. If we all met together, we would be able to get a position, an updated position in terms of the cost, what it was going to cost to finish, timescales, and I think it's more about how rather than if I'm honest. That was my feeling, that we needed clarification on the outcome. I think it's been established that it is still felt to have some importance in local plan discussions, and certainly whilst we've seemingly got the 300 out, I mean, the inspector still has to see that, and if the inspector's looking at it and you've got a neighbourhood plan, then it will carry more weight, and that's just a fact. That's established. So I think in principle we would like to take the whole thing forward, but practically there seems to be some updates required on the whole position, and hopefully we can do that as soon as possible.
Can I just add to that? Because actually the recommendation is slightly inaccurate in that what we did was we delegated the authority to that subgroup. So it hasn't got to go back to the finance. It's up to that subgroup to make.
Yeah.
Okay, thank you.
Because I'm just,
You go.
yeah, because obviously, what I was saying, that the infrastructure, that would still be a good piece of work to do, wouldn't it? Whether we get the 300 houses or not. But if we just mentioned the boots, and can't we then use the neighbourhood plan group to have a look into the infrastructure bit? We can look at the surge, can't we? And we can look at other things in. So you've got the neighbourhood, the local plan is massive, but by doing that, we will be picking out smaller items which might be easier.
I think that's one of the discussions we want to have is there enough in there about the infrastructure?
Correct. It just needs more info, and I think what we've agreed is a good way forward, particularly bringing in the TDT also. I thought it was a good idea. Jane.
Just going on that agenda I showed you, it's not my agenda, that's a copy, and I marked it for the neighbourhood group to come and read it. So, anything with Brighton said, because it's got all the policies in it as well, which will come into any development, any area.
There's also a legacy document, see, because whilst we are updated on the situation as it stands now, because we have taken the time to do that, if we're not elected next year, or if we don't stand and 2 years down the line it comes up again, you need a reference point, i.e. the neighbourhood plan, so that all those things can be taken into consideration again. So you're not reinventing the wheel every time there's an application for
That's
it.
a very fair point. Anybody else have any comments on that?
No, I'd just like to commend the recommendations.
Okay, so that's been moved. Any other comments? All those in favour? Any against? Okay. We move on to confirm the recommendation the members examine the accounts for the current period. I think that was our job.
Mr. Mayor, councillors, members of the public. Councillor Mitchell and I have examined the accounts for May 2026, and under the delegated authorities of the Finance Committee, I confirm that 17 payments in the sum of £12,494.38 have been authorised and paid. The statements of balances on the following accounts are to be accepted. Front account £47,159.48. Business premium account, £28,996.91. Business premium account, 9433, £450.66. The CCLA Public Sector Deposit Fund, £104,144.36. Instant Access Account, £27,846.66. And the current T2 account, £88,516.01. Petty cash is £11.16p, making a total of £297,125.24. Less one unpresented cheque of £315, which makes a total on all accounts of £296,810.24. The income for May 2026 was £6,697.47, and the expenditure was £43,018.62. Income 1st of April, 31st of May 2026 totals £176,265.88. And the expenditure 1st of April, 31st of May 26, £78,863.42. Barclaycard payments for May 2026 were £129.98, and the employees' payments paid for the month of May 2026 were £17,430.95. And those are that's the examination.
Thank you. Thank you. That be seconded by. Thank you. Any comments on that? So can I take a vote on that? All agree? Thank you.
Rick, I think I better abstain, please.
Yes, you want it.
I'm on it. I'm a supplier.
Oh, you're a. We note that. You note that in the.
He's not a
the
creditor.
Well, there's a new one, isn't it? Okay. Thank you very much. So we move now on to planning. Item 10, note the minutes of the planning meeting held on the 9th of June 2026.
I don't think there's much to add to the minutes of those meetings other than to repeat what we said earlier about Councillor Chapman's efforts on the local plan. I think that should be recognised. The other thing to say is the planning meeting on the 23rd of this month has been cancelled due to other circumstances. However, we are having a special meeting on the 30th of June, which councillors and others will be interested is to consider the new application for the Bateman Tower Cafe.
Well, okay. Bateman Tower Cafe.
10 o'clock, isn't it?
That is a public meeting if anybody wishes to come. And thank you. All those in fact, do we need to?
No, I'm not on that one.
Okay. Item 11 is questions from the public. Is there any questions?
Yeah, I've just got a quick one. The RSPCA wants to ban crabbing. I wonder what your views are on that. You
What
know?
about Colin?
Well, there could be a pinch point.
Crabs are humane in turn. Oh, well, probably, I don't know. It's just that I think this is a risk-free, on a risk-free world.
Nothing to do with us or the harbour.
Can I just?
It might be.
I think you said they're wanting to, Glenn.
Yeah, that's
So
right.
it isn't.
But on a serious note, they were saying who was going to sort of police it really, and local councils came up.
Having a run of police.
Or funded by children.
Well, that's the most interesting question. Thank you very much. Moving sideways.
Dave Stone. Observation rather than question really. Years ago, I was involved in traffic regulations in Cotton, and it was illegal to have a trailer on the highway unattached to a vehicle. If we, in the past, code it was way on behalf of the city because they were unattached. But that regulation is still enforceable.
Well, thank you for the point, and I'm sure it's been noted.
I've got a lot more information today, which needs to be processed and acted upon. I think there are other issues around that. that situation that maybe we do need to consider. So that's all I'm going to say at the moment.
Thank you, Nick. Any other questions from the public? In that case, we move on to item 12, the town clerk's report, which is in front of you.
Thank you very much. The founder of Dear Dogs would like to host Brightonsea first annual Woodstock,
Woodstock.
a community festival celebrating all things dogs. They're requesting permission to use the Lower Park Fan Fields on the last Saturday of September each year, with the inaugural event taking place on Saturday, 26th September from 10 AM until 4 PM.
That's way after the car show, isn't it?
Yes.
Which is on the 6th. So, what's the council's opinion?
What about the cats?
On the grounds.
One comment from the grounds manager was not fill our dog bins with dog mess, that they should have their own facility for the removal
Oh, that's a
of
good.
dog mess.
Good. That's a good point.
Yeah,
Make a note of that. Otherwise, are we generally saying okay? Yeah. No.
Sure.
What event actually is it? Is it a dog show or is it?
no idea.
a
Well,
duty?
Dog show
Yes.
competition.
Dog show competition, demonstrations, trade stalls offering dog-related products and services, food and refreshment vendors, children's entertainment, including bouncy castle, subject to approval and safety requirements, activities and attractions for both dogs and their families.
We have got to be a bit mindful because the town show has a dog.
If anybody would like to meet with this person to discuss it further, I'd be happy to arrange.
What date was it again?
They're looking at
Yes.
the 26th of September.
Terry's spoken to them.
No, not yet.
Yeah.
We're going to get approval first, then look, so I'm happy to.
Yeah, I don't know whether he's going to mark out some playing pitches there for the junior teams. I think he's going to do that, and
Mhm.
obviously they'll keep the ground spotless and dog mess free.
Yeah, they've got
on-
insurance in
on the
place,
call.
public
I think
liability and.
subject to all the normal conditions, and as long as Terry's happy, I think we can
Right,
say
okay.
yes to it.
Thank
But
you.
obviously they do need to, I think it's a very fair point, they need to have their own dog
Yes.
waste
Yeah,
containers.
fill ours up.
And leave the site as they found it.
Okay.
Okay,
The Six Rebels Junior Basketball Club are looking to host a 3x3 tournament using the outdoor floor on the Western Promenade on the 8th and 9th of August. They're happy to offer this to residents of Brightonsea for free.
well, that's
I
a
think it'd
good
be
idea.
nice for it to be seen to be used.
Yeah, nice to see it used. Yeah, nice it is used, and I think we welcome that, don't we?
Yeah.
Again, I put check with Terry.
Yeah.
It's open to yeah.
Okay, and just one further item. It's regarding Baby Loss Awareness Week, which is on the 9th to the 15th of October this year. This person would like to utilise the town trees for a memorial for Baby Loss Awareness Week. Specifically those in the centre of the town opposite the spa. They're hoping to hang paper hearts from the trees with baby names on to honour them during the week. And they'd also like to hang fairy lights from them so the trees are lit up as it's October and it'll be dark.
Sorry, do we need to be mindful, I suppose is the word, that some of those trees are memorial trees anyway that are being paid for by the members of the public?
Yeah.
And how would they feel about them?
Okay, not use those.
And how long will they stay there for?
Just
Because some-
For a week.
Just 1 week.
The captain tied the ribbons, don't they, round the, on the seafront?
Not all the trees are memorial though, are they?
There's quite a lot of them under memorial
To
trees.
check two women to a memorial.
Yeah, let's have a word with them.
Fencing. They have them.
Oh, no, what, on
The one
Railing.
record-
Wouldn't it? That's the difference.
I think it's a rather sensitive area around them.
about the Western Promenade? There are not many trees.
Not really gonna go down.
What do you think then?
I was just going to suggest that maybe it could be down the front, perhaps in the Millennium Garden or something
Yeah.
like that.
Yeah,
That might be more.
the Millennium Gardens would be a good place for it.
Isn't some of that is memorial there?
Yeah, a lot of it is a memorial, that's in trouble.
I think in principle it's probably okay, but we need to make sure where they want to place them isn't going to cause offence to anybody that's already got a memorial tree in place. And have to be quite specific.
I think what we'll do is we'll have a chat and just find a bit more information.
Yeah, and allocate April.
And just to make sure we're not doing anything unsensitive.
Okay. That's it from me, no, that's it, thank you.
Okay. Well, on behalf of the council, I'd like to thank the members of the public coming tonight and all the council. I therefore declare the meeting closed.